Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Um, this is going to be a little bit different, but it's like but the video can't be that different because I've only made one video before now. But look, I do have a few topics that I do want to talk to you guys about. Um, all things revolving around being a parent of an autistic child, as you know. By the way, my name is Cornelius. I am the father of an autistic child by the name of Elijah. He is absolutely amazing, and welcome to Wonderful Spectrum. So, the main thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is um, really managing expectations for your child and the importance of it. The reason why this kind of resonates with me is because along this journey, not only finding out that my son is autistic, but also, going through the therapies and just meeting people um, on our path. Some of the things that come up are expectations, right? There's a lot of things online. There's a lot of things online about people, like Elon Musk and other geniuses that are out there that happen to be on the autism spectrum. And, you know, the hope, right, of some conversations wind up going along the lines of, oh, your child's autistic, they're going to be a genius. They're going to be amazing. They're going to be a genius. They're going to be super smart, super intelligent. They're going to be able to do all these amazing things because of this disability. And obviously, as we know, there are examples of amazing people doing amazing things that are on the autism spectrum. So it's very understandable for you as a parent, just like any child that you have, to want the best for them to, for them to thrive, to excel, and to be absolutely amazing in whatever it is they want to do. But what happens when you're on your path, right? When you're on your walk in dealing with autism, what happens when your child does not meet those expectations? Look, it could be easy to put yourself in a position where you solely focus on those hopes and dreams. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I want to bring light to is that it's important to make sure you understand no matter what the outcome is for your child, rather they are some super genius in this world, right? Or not. No matter what, you're there and you're there to support, right? And be there and help your child develop on their journey wherever their journey takes them. One of the things that I pointed out before is that, the importance of understanding that autism is a spectrum. Everyone doesn't have the same walk. So wherever your child's path leads them, I think the better approach is to mainly understand who your child is, understand where they are, the things that they're dealing with, and being as an active supportive role in that as much as you can as a parent. So, I had a little bit of a emotional time, I guess you could say, from a conversation that I had. And even though I know some people's heart comes from the right place, as far as, oh man, look at this person, look at that person. And that's great and that's fine, right? And it's always good to have hope, right? And prayer, right? And shooting for the best expectations. But the more important thing is to understand that no matter where the path takes my child, I'm going to be there to support them no matter what. So, what I want to do is kind of go over 5 tips, I guess, if you will, 5 things that kind of resonate with me as far as managing your expectations for your child as they are on their journey dealing with autism. The very first thing I got is to celebrate the things that they are able to do, right? Celebrate the things that they show you, right? That you see that they can do. It's just celebrating all the small things. So, an example, this past weekend, Elijah, even though we have been working with Elijah over and over, and we're going to continue to do it to kind of, you incorporate sign language into certain things, certain words and certain phrases and stuff like that. We've been doing it for a long time, but it never became something on a regular basis that he's shown us that he understands until this weekend. I believe it was either 3 or 4 different occasions over the weekend. Elijah, he likes to drink he likes tea, okay? And I give it to him. What? Elijah likes his tea. I kind of make it 50-50 tea and water so that he's not getting too much sugar. But when he was drinking his tea, he came up to me and he said, clear as day, more. And he showed me the sign, right? Sign language for wanting more. Again, my son is nonverbal, classified as nonverbal, autistic. And for him to not only say clearly more and at the same time show us the sign for it, absolutely amazing, right? Warmed my heart. And I saw it a couple times this weekend. My wife saw it a couple times. So that was an amazing, amazing victory. So when it comes to that, it's important. It could be something big like that, which to me, that's huge, right? That's huge. But it could be the simplest things. Even when I'm getting him dressed and, he puts his arm up because he knows, we got to put the arm in, then the other arm in. The small things. You got to make sure that you celebrate those things and those victories because those are the things that are the building blocks of his path, right? So again, celebrate the small things, celebrate the small wins, and pay attention to those wins as you're on your journey. The next one is setting realistic goals. All right. And that comes from, for me, it comes from two different sides, right? As a parent and taking in the guidance that you get from either your speech therapist, if you're in speech therapy or occupational therapy, whoever your professional is. You have to be able to see your child where they are, right? Not see them for someone else's example or anything like that. You have to be able to see them for who they are and setting those goals of what's in reach. So, for instance, currently, right now, it would be unfair for me to have an expectation of my son to be able to write his ABCs A through Z. Okay, that would be unfair. But if I can get to a place to where he can understand copying, drawing straight lines or a circle, which is a building block, right, to writing letters and numbers. Those are realistic goals. So instead of just reaching, for way out there, for something that's the end goal, maybe pay attention to those building blocks, right? Those small, realistic goals, things that we can get to in a month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever the case may be, and pay attention to those goals, but then celebrate those goals, right? And then once you have those and you can achieve them, then you're building on to the next step. But you have to make sure that your goals, right? Your child and your goals are realistic for your child. The next thing is definitely be patient, right? Being patient. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and let's just be real, right? Um, I do struggle as a parent. I struggle with patience, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there also struggle with patience. And in some ways, it is even more important to show patience when you're dealing with your child on the autism spectrum. Look, I have other children, right? My wife has other children as well, and all of them are neurotypical, right? So we can, have certain expectations for when they are certain ages, right, or doing certain things, right? But when you're dealing with a child that is on the autism spectrum, you have to be a little bit more gray in that, right? You have to show a little bit more flexibility in certain things, and patience will definitely be tested, not only in their accomplishments and things that they can do, right? But when they are having their sessions of stimming, right? When you are going out, like in public, when you are doing things as far as you're trying to show them how to do something, and some of those things are coming, and they are understanding, and some of the things they won't. But in all these aspects, it's extremely important to not only be patient, but be kind, be gentle, right? Be understanding, not to baby and coddle too much, right? But just be decent in your patience, in your kindness to your child. They will learn from that, right? Regardless if you're not getting the eye contact or not, if they're not showing you directly or not. One thing that I've definitely learned, that even though Elijah may not be looking at me, he's always paying attention to the things that I'm doing. He's paying attention to my mood. He takes that in. So being patient, being kind goes a long way, not only for you as as a person, right, and as a parent, but as their confidence grows, and they see that and they receive that patience, and your child receives that kindness, that helps them in their development as well. Okay. All right. Hey, look, real quick. I know you're enjoying this video. At least I hope you're enjoying this video, right? But if you do enjoy this video and you like this content, please hit the like button. It's going to be down here a little bit somewhere, anywhere, but hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm definitely going to have a lot more content coming at you very soon. And if you're interested in seeing where this journey begins, definitely go watch my first video where I talk about the day that my son was diagnosed with autism. All right, now back to the video. The next thing, which for me, which is probably of all these the most important thing, is seek support. Right, seek support. It's easy to feel like you're alone. It's really easy to feel like you're the only one on this path. I kind of talked about that a little bit before in my previous video, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, that is the video where I talk about the day that my son was diagnosed with autism. So if you get a chance, check it out. That would just kind of get you a better understanding of where I am, right, and where we are on our journey on the autism spectrum journey. But seeking support. So I do have my wife, right? And she's an amazing support. But in part of me developing this channel, um, it's also it was also coupled with my effort of seeking support, right? Seeking other people that also have children on the autism spectrum. So there's a lot of great groups out there on Facebook, good groups on Instagram as well, of people sharing not only the tough times, right, but sharing their victories as well. And I've definitely found a lot of good things with that. I've also found that there are local support groups in my area, and there are ways that you can find local support groups in your area as well. Just that you can have someone to kind of relate to when it comes to the things that we do on a day-to-day basis with our child on the autism spectrum. So definitely seeking support, not only in groups and stuff like that, not only online, but, asking really good questions when it comes to, your speech therapy, your occupational therapy. If your child's in ABA, ask those questions. Those professionals are there for your child, but they're also there to help you be a better parent to support your child, if that makes sense. So, and then last but not least is focus on your child's strengths, right? They is very easy to kind of wind up in a place of my child can't do A or B or C, right? And it really depends on how you look at things, what your outlook is. But instead of focusing on those things, I would challenge you to pay attention and see the things that your child is able to do. Because I'm telling you, man, I I get an amazing feeling when I think about my son and I think about the things that he is able to do, about where he's came from, and it just warms my heart because he's came so far and already in a short amount of time. And I focus on those things. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of him. And I'm so proud of him for the things that he is able to do. So um focusing on your child's strengths, praising them for that, right? Giving them the love, the care, attention, and everything definitely goes a long way when it comes to helping your child and helping them on their way, on their journey, right? Look, um, those those are my top 5 things, right, to keep in mind when it comes to helping you as a parent manage your expectations for your child and also helping your child develop, right? So I hope this is really helpful for everyone. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely let me know. If you have any other thoughts, right, drop them in the comments. Let me know. Let me know the things that help you as far as managing your expectations for your child, whether they are early in their walk, like me, Elijah's 3.5, or if they're 15, 16 years old, because I know that for sure. The little bit that I know right now, there's so much more for me to learn. And I find support and am thankful for when I get the comments here, right? And people share their experiences. So that's all I got for today. Everybody stay good and stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all take it easy. Peace.